Hi, everyone. Welcome to Radiant Living, Inspiring Humanity to Thrive. I'm your host, Marisa B. Today, I'd like to welcome an individual who supports people in the middle of change, when old ways no longer fit and the next chapter is still forming. She brings warmth, clarity, and steady guidance to those standing in life's in between. She doesn't shout about dealing with unexpected change. She whispers it into being. Today, I'd like to welcome Connie Lape. I hope I'm saying that your last name correctly.
You did, totally.
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect. Connie, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming. I think today is so important. I usually have guests on that help others, but maybe from a point once they've finished or gone through something. You're actually in the middle of things. Can you first of all explain a little bit about how you got involved with this? Because your life before was so different, right? You were in
Yeah.
a completely different career.
Yes. Well, what happened was when I met my husband, a couple weeks after, we were seeing each other, he had told me he had Parkinson's. And I was like, okay, am I supposed to be afraid of that? I didn't really know much about it.
Mhm.
And as time went on and we were together, the progression started with it. And he asked me, would I want to be his caregiver? And I thought, I don't know about that. Like, I've never done this before. And I talked to someone because he's a veteran at the VA about doing that. And she said, you go through a program and you get certified to be his caregiver. And that would probably mean so much to him. And I had to think about it because I wasn't sure about doing that.
Mhm.
Like, how am I going to be qualified to take care of somebody who has Parkinson's?
Mhm.
And I went through it and I did it. And it's been like 4.5 years now. But lately, in the last almost year, there's been a lot more decline. And that is how this whole thing started. I was a hair colorist
Mhm.
for like 46 years.
Right.
And when COVID came, the salons all closed down. And then when they were reopening, he said, please do not go back. He
Mhm.
said, I am so afraid of you being in contact with people like that and coming
Mhm.
home to me.
Right.
And I thought, oh, I never thought of it that way.
Mhm.
So I didn't. So I decided I love being around people. So I went into learning about coaching.
Right, right. And you've
So,
trained extensively. I saw you have quite a bit of training in this because, of course, you're changing from one career to another. So I knew that you had trained in a number of different coaching techniques in schools. But
right.
still, it doesn't prepare one, right? Because this
No,
is you living it now. So you're not
yeah,
only helping others, but you're living it. It's going on every day in your
correct.
house. Yeah.
It's going on every day. And I am living it, and you go through your struggles. It's like I had no clue of what this would be even 2 years ago. And I'm really in this place of, wow, this has changed everything, like our marriage,
Mhm.
um, learning to accept what is, and always going back to like, oh, I miss this and I miss that. It's just different now. And I
Yeah.
find the
How long
good
were you
part.
married? How long are you married? How long are you
We're
married so far?
married, we're married 11 years.
11
So
years.
this is
Okay.
both our second marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a shocker, right? Because you already were married once, you're getting involved with someone, and then that's I have to say that's very it was very brave of him to say that
Yeah, it
outright, right? To
was.
come right out and say that, would you be my caretaker? Because that may frighten off a lot of people.
Right.
Uh, that's
Exactly. Even when he told me he had Parkinson's after we were dating a couple weeks, that was brave of him.
yes, yes, indeed.
And I was like, wow,
Mhm.
I really appreciate that honesty. And I thought, you know what? The way I live my life, I don't run from things.
Mhm.
I get involved if I want to know you, and I let things unfold, and I know that I'll figure it out, and I just trust that it will work out some way. And that's just how I live my life.
Now, how long before you started dating was he actually diagnosed? Was that something new that had happened to him?
No, he was diagnosed in 2006 and we started dating in 2013.
Oh, wow. So he was
So
living
he
with
had
it for
had
quite
it
a
a while,
while.
but you would never have known he had it
Hmm.
when I was
Hmm.
dating him. You know,
Right.
you would never have known it. It was like 2018 when I started to see some
Hmm.
changes happening. And
Hmm.
now, like to the present day, there's like huge changes.
Hmm.
So
And how do you ever even get yourself equipped to deal with that, right? And yet help people at the same time, because it really is a heavy thing that you're dealing with.
it is heavy. I get a lot of help.
Hmm.
I have to have help. I have to be able to express myself and have somebody kind of walk with me through this journey because it is heavy. And just allowing myself grace where I never would do that before either. You
Hmm.
know, I'd be pretty hard on myself. Like,
Right.
oh, you're not doing this and you got to do this. No more of that.
Hmm.
No more. And it feels so good because I don't need all that stuff. I got enough stuff here without all the I should and I should this
Hmm.
and none of that. I just let it go. And right now, like, I'm really not working with anybody right now.
Right. Right.
I've given myself the
Hmm.
space to just kind of sit with things and let things evolve more.
Hmm.
I'm not even sure where this is going to lead, but I'm okay with that too, where I wouldn't have been okay with that before either. Like, I have to
Right.
know what's going on step by
Hmm.
step, and I just don't live like that anymore. It's just kind of going from day to day and going, okay, well, today's a good day. Yesterday
Yes.
was not a good day.
Hmm.
And learning what to do in the moments of where I could go and get very stressed or anxious.
Hmm.
I just kind of go
Yes.
sit and just let
Right.
myself be quiet and get myself grounded again because I could just, get really anxious.
Hmm.
And now I know what to do with that because I always was always kind of an anxious person.
Hmm.
And this has helped me with that. Now I know what to do
Wow.
with the feeling of like, oh, I'm feeling a little anxious. I just go and do some breathing and I let myself just sit and no pressure about anything. Even sitting, I'd be like, oh,
Hmm.
you need to be doing this.
Yes. Oh.
And now I'm like, it's okay if you sit,
Mm. Well,
you
it's an
know,
evolution, right? It's an evolution for yourself as well, because you really are living moment to moment at this point.
I
And
am. I am.
as I said earlier, most people that are in the health and wellness coaching therapy, they perhaps even if they were in the process of healing themselves, it's been going on many, many years. And as they get into helping others, it's almost in check, under control. And even though they're working on it, it's a little bit different than the condition that you're in now because you're really right in the fires
I
at the
am.
moment.
I
Yeah.
really am. And I feel that and I know that. And then today, it's like it's all good. It's a good day and he's having a good day. And and even if he's not having a good day, I just go breathe. I'm just like, okay, it's okay. It'll be okay. This is temporary.
Mhm.
And I know what to do with for myself, but I've had help. I still
Right.
have help. And that's
Hmm.
what keeps me grounded and looking at what I need to be looking at instead of
Hmm.
getting carried away with all the anxiety and
Yeah.
frustration,
And
you
but
know.
now these are very valid points, though. I mean, an individual that has an illness, I mean, there are doctor's appointments, there are medications, there are good days and bad days. I mean, this is a checklist of things that you have to have in place because it's something that you might not have been prepared for, but you have to prepare for, right? I mean, once it's going on, you have to be prepared.
Correct. And there's a lot of phone calls with doctors and setting things up and, equipment setups and, getting his medication ready for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Food, he likes to eat. So,
Mm-hmm.
being prepared with food and
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of things where I'm like, before when I was doing all this, with other classes and courses,
Mm-hmm.
they were almost, they were really good for me and I learned a lot, but it was almost like a distraction for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I cannot be distracted.
Right.
I cannot be
Right.
distracted. And I have to sit with that, wanting to do something, wanting to
Mm-hmm.
like, do something else. And I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you know what? No, you need to be quiet. You need to
Mm-hmm.
take care of you. You're taking care of him. I have help
Mm-hmm.
and, run our house.
Right. Well, that's why you say you are not actively taking clients this at this moment because it has progressed. The situation
Correct.
has progressed. And I know when you and I first met, you were having some things that were going on, the beginnings of things that were going on,
Yeah.
even though you knew about it. And, I have a question. I'm sure other people have asked you, how did you decide to take this on? I mean, this is a big thing to take on. And it's not like, you two had been married, say, in your early 20s and you're together for so many years. This is really a big uh, undertaking for you.
It's a big undertaking. I've always been the type of person when somebody needs help, I like to help.
Hmm.
And when I thought about like, being his caregiver, I'm like, okay, you're not qualified, but you're going to get training. So they're saying you can do it. You love him.
Hmm.
Clearly, you love him. Let's do it. I can do it. I can always stop doing it,
Hmm.
and but when I look at him today, like it's so different than when I first started.
Hmm.
Like I have so much empathy where before I didn't. I really
Hmm.
didn't. It's like I've kind of grown into this too, because it's a lot.
Yes.
And I didn't have the empathy I did like 4 years ago that I have today because it's
Hmm.
changed so much for him. His life has changed so much, not
Yes.
just mine. And
Right.
so I can look at him and go, God bless him. He shakes when he eats, and
Hmm.
there's just so many things that I look at him and I'm like, God bless you. You
Hmm.
know,
And medications are not helping any longer. Is that it?
they do to a certain degree. Now, if he
Hmm.
didn't have them, he'd be a mess.
Right.
But after you're taking them for so many
Hmm.
years, and that's something else to talk to with, he has an appointment with
Hmm.
his neurologist at the end of the month. And it's talking about that, like his medication, like can we
Hmm.
switch things? Instead of just adding in
Hmm.
more. Like,
Right.
is there a different medication to go on that might, do something? I don't
Hmm.
know. Um, but we have him doing physical therapy, what he can do.
Hmm.
Um, we just take care of him,
Hmm.
as much as I can. He's got to want to participate. That's
Right.
another whole
Yes.
story. Sometimes he doesn't. And
Right.
I had to learn about that too, Marissa. You know,
Yes. Yes, indeed. Right. That's a big thing.
I was trying to be like, you need to do this.
Hmm.
And he was just like, you know what? You need to
Hmm.
leave me alone. And I had to learn that I need to let go of wanting
Hmm.
him. He has to want what he wants for himself. It's not up
Right.
to me. And that was another big learning curve for
Hmm.
me, letting go of that.
Right. Well, that's a
So,
big difference, right? Because as I say, you went into this marriage later on. It was your second marriage. I mean, two individuals that meet in their early 20s, they're married 40, 45 years. Sometimes you can say to them, you need to do this. You're not doing that with a
right,
second marriage because you both had been autonomous for a long time, right? And so it's a little bit
right,
different. It's not viewed the same way or not taken the same way. And of course, if someone's not well at the time, it also is amplified. I would assume that their feelings are amplified because they are angry with themselves, is how many people go through that as well because it's
right,
happening to them, right? Yes.
right. And frustration, because
Yes.
he was like an amazing guitar player
Oh, wow.
and played with like who's that guy? Buddy, whatever his name is in Chicago. buddy, whatever, buddy
Mhm.
guy. And he played with a lot of blues people. He's a great
Mhm.
bass guitar player. Now he
Wow.
can't even play.
Oh, what a shame.
He
Yes.
can't even play and he gets frustrated. He's got
Hmm.
all these guitars and I mean, he played like with so many people and he can't play.
Right.
So it's like trying to find something else for him,
Hmm.
like what else would you like to do?
Hmm.
So there's just a lot of things you go through with them, with your partner or your
Hmm.
family member, you know, just to bring things to their attention. But whatever they decide to do is clearly up to them,
Right.
is my big lesson.
Yes. And then, of course, you have to get, like you said, not only you're not getting only physical help, but you're getting other help for yourself because you do have to have that mindfulness and that those moments of calm and self-care days because that's so important.
It
I,
is.
right. I'm
It,
sure, not so coaches go to coaches, right? Therapists go to
yeah,
therapists because yeah, we need that. We need that guidance as well.
absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't have come this far if I wasn't getting help all this time.
Yeah.
I would have like been nuts. So this has really kept me grounded
Hmm.
and know how to do that. And knowing what self-care actually means, I thought I knew what it meant, but I don't think
Hmm.
I really did.
Hmm.
Now I know. It's like taking a step back and I don't have to figure things out right away. It's like it's okay that I don't
Hmm.
know what's around the corner.
Hmm.
I can just be with it and go, something, if it's going to unfold, it unfolds and I'll notice it, but right now it's just me being here with him, me taking care of me, taking care of him, and he's still happy, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, that is very good.
Seeing that he has some happiness,
Yes.
so yeah, it's been a long road and we're not
Oh, I'm
done.
sure. Right, exactly. And I think you can, and so, I mean, I'm assuming you can't plan really. Uh, Certain plans really can't be done because, like you said just a moment ago, that it's every day is different and every day you have to
Right.
take it as it is.
Exactly. Even like for him to get out, he'll be like, "Oh, let's go for a ride." And the next day, it's like, "Okay, let's go for a ride." He goes, "I'm just not feeling up to it."
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's like, "Okay, you know."
Right.
So it's just life is very different. And I feel like sometimes like I lost my partner.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of things like you grieve about because you
Yes.
keep losing things all the time.
Yes, you're in the active grieving process, right? Because you're grieving while it's going on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
You said
And
it.
now he doesn't drive, right? He's not
No,
driving anymore. You're doing the driving, so you're
I drive.
really doing all of the movement uh, outside the home has to be on you, the physical movement, right? I mean, I'm sure
Right.
that you need to help him too, right? Steady on his feet, because sometimes that
Yeah.
is an issue.
Like getting him up,
Yes.
getting
Oh
him
boy.
up. We use like a gait belt,
Yes.
and he can use his arms. And then I just kind of pull him forward. He
Hmm.
helps. But yeah, you have to help with the physical part because he can't
Hmm.
do it anymore. Even
Right.
getting him out of bed and getting him into bed,
Yes.
it's a big change.
Now, do you have help, as in nursing help or assisting assistance
Care,
help that way? Because there's washing, there's grooming, there's things like that that have to be done.
yes, yes, I do. I have caregivers that come
Mhm.
in. He gets those hours through the VA,
Yes. Okay.
so I feel very blessed with that.
Yes.
And
Well,
we
thank him for
kind
his
of
service. He deserves it, right? Thank him for his
he
service because
does,
he provided the service to all of us. So he should, in
right?
fact, have benefits.
He does. He has good
Yes.
benefits, and we get caregivers that come in, really good ones. Um, you know who the really good ones are. and they're willing to do it and not just, actually, I had one the other day that would just sat up here doing her homework all day, and I'm
Right.
like, okay,
Yeah.
she's out.
Yes.
But that's how it gets. It's just like, okay, this is what I'm seeing. That's
Right.
done.
Right,
And
right,
then
right.
the
Because you have to
ones
look, you have to make sure that you have the help that you need and that he needs. Yes, of course.
that he's getting it. And, so I'm just very mindful and I really pay attention. And I'm doing things that I notice about myself that I wasn't doing before,
Hmm.
and I'm calmer, believe it or not. And there's so many things I've had to do to keep moving through and just learning how to care for myself and how important it is, how really important it is. When someone said, "Oh, it's so important you have self-care," I was like, "Yeah, okay,
Hmm.
whatever that means."
Right.
And now I know what it means.
Hmm.
It's like, you have to stand in your truth of who you are. It's like, no,
Hmm.
I can't take on anymore. I can't
Right.
do more. This is where I need to be right now. I
Hmm.
can't do more,
And
you
now
know.
let's see, what would you tell somebody else? Because currently you're not seeing actively seeing clients, but you are, of course, doing speaking events on occasion. What would you tell someone who is faced with this? They find out that their loved one has this diagnosis. Where do you go first? What do you do? Because I'm sure that it's almost a feeling of loss the minute you hear it. It's loss, grief, everything hits you all at once, I'm assuming.
I wasn't there when he was
Right,
diagnosed.
right.
I came in later in the game, so I
Mhm.
never had that feeling of when he first got diagnosed. I could tell somebody right now who's in it and who's struggling with what they think they need to do
Mhm.
all the time and talk about it's okay to get quiet and make space for yourself. Any way I can, I make space for myself.
Mhm.
I didn't think that way before. I was like, do this, do this. It was like high alert, high alert.
Mhm.
And just bringing on my own anxiety of like what I need to get done. Now, if something doesn't get done, it's like, okay, well, I'll
Right.
do that tomorrow.
Mhm.
And it's really about what's most important. It's me and how I am giving myself space. That's what I
Mhm.
really feel right now.
Right.
It could change, but right
Mhm.
now it's about me giving myself the space so I can just,
Continue, right? So you can continue on. Because if you don't,
yes.
right? If you don't give that space to yourself, because you have to continue on. So you need that.
I do. I need that. So even if it's not talking on the phone to a friend, sometimes I'll be like, you know what? Right now, I can't talk right now. I need
Mhm.
like more quiet. And they get it, you know.
Mhm.
Um,
How
it's
did you
just,
find that with your with friends and family? When Well, because it's a little different because he knew his diagnosis and he told you in the beginning, but how is it with people that either friends, family, community? Are they there for you, or do you find that some of them don't know what to say, so they stay away, or don't know how to help, so they stay away?
like with my family, I'm really lucky and blessed. They're not afraid to say, what do you need?
Hmm.
What can I do? Can I do something? What does he need? We don't have that with his family.
Hmm.
And I had to accept that too. That wasn't easy. I was just very
Yes.
angry about that. It's like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh. Like, don't you even like think about him?
Hmm.
But you know what? That's their life. I'm glad
Hmm.
I'm here and I'm glad my family's
Hmm.
here because he
Right.
has the support. Um, when I say I need something, I was in California visiting my sister in LA and I needed space from my family.
Hmm.
So I said, I'm going to go get a car and I'm going to take a ride in the mountains. I
Oh,
don't know
nice.
when I'll be back. And my
Hmm.
sister was like, well, do whatever you need. And my mom's like, you're going to drive in the mountains
Hmm.
alone? And I'm like, I just need to go and just
Mhm.
sit there and just look at the scenery. And that's what I
Mhm.
did. And I didn't have to rush. My sister gets it. Mom gets it, but you
Mhm.
have to, talk to her about it.
Mhm.
But that's what I do now.
Mhm.
I have to. I
Yes.
do what I feel like I need to do in that moment. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go take a drive by the horses, you
Mhm.
know. It
Now,
just
did your
makes
husband go with you to California or did he stay home?
he used to go with me to California.
Right.
So now what I do is I hire someone to come and
Mhm.
stay. And
Mhm.
it works out because he gets along with them really well and they really
Right.
like him. So it works
Mhm.
out really good and he's happy,
Mhm.
and it's time away from me too.
Right.
And, and I'm giving myself time away from him, but I have to just call out like what I need, where I
Mhm.
didn't do that either before.
Mhm.
So there's so many things I'm doing that I didn't used to do to care for
Right.
myself.
Now you
I
said
would
how
run.
many years before he started? How many years before he actually started to show many symptoms?
Um, let's see, got diagnosed in 2006. 2018, I started to notice he couldn't walk as far. He would have to sit down. He's like, I
Mm-hmm.
can't keep going. And I was like, okay. That was one of the first things I
Mm-hmm.
noticed. And then that progressed more with the walking,
Mm-hmm.
but then it comes into the cognitive part too. Like
Right.
that just happened like in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cognitive stuff, like the memory and the,
Mm-hmm.
he'll think he saw something. They have
Right.
hallucination too.
Yes. So your
Uh,
life was really different in the beginning. In the
yeah,
beginning of the marriage, it was different. Even though you knew he had this diagnosis, it was different. There was much more activity, much more mobility. It was, and of
right.
course, the
And
cognitive
traveling, we used to
actions were
travel.
different. Yes.
Yeah. So to me, I mean, this will sound crazy to most. They'd be like, what are you talking about? I still feel like I have like a good life
Yes. Well.
because I do go.
Mhm.
If I want to go
Mhm.
see my sister, I go see my
Mhm.
sister. And
Mhm.
I just plan for it, if I
Right.
can. Um,
Right. In
like
that
I'm gonna,
respect, there's planning. That's the part of the planning that has to get done. You might not be able to plan for tomorrow's, but you can plan that way. The
right.
actual structure of things.
The
Yes.
structure of something. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
go, like I'd like to go see my sister
Mhm.
and I'd like to go these dates. Let's see
Mhm.
if we can get someone to come in these dates. And he's like, "Oh, okay, So he knows when
Now,
I
how did
need a
you find
break.
the people? How did you find the people? Because I'm sure people out there would want to know how,
Oh,
because of course, yes, he has wonderful benefits and yes, you can get assistance, but how do you find people that actually will do that type of job? Do you get involved with that, with maybe agencies or even private
well,
agencies that have that
I've
information?
checked. Yes, I have checked like care.com where you can
Mhm.
have people
Yes.
come in. I've checked that. I've even checked with people that work like at Visiting Angels, like
Hmm.
the VA uses like a bunch of different like visiting angels.
Hmm.
I can't think of the other names of some of
Right,
them,
the
but
different agencies
the
that
different
they, right, the
agencies
private agencies, yeah.
and ones that don't work there anymore
Hmm.
that were there and they were really good. Like those are people on my list.
Hmm.
Like I just kind of gather who I think is really good
Yes.
and I just offer to pay him cash on the side.
Hmm.
Like to come in for a couple weeks or, a week. And that's
Right.
how I do it, but you gotta, be able to pay them.
Hmm.
And what I get is I get like the respite care from the VA, but all
Hmm.
that, like to have somebody come in,
Right, that's something
um,
separate. Yeah,
that's
that's something
something
completely
separate.
separate. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's
So
good to
that's
know that you can find people that will do that outside of agencies that perhaps they worked for full
right.
time or part time, because there are many people who want to do private duty. And that's
Oh yeah.
something because do they have to stay? Do they stay the 24 hours for those
Oh
few
yeah.
days or they do? They have to stay. Yes.
He cannot be by himself.
Right.
So they have to stay. They have to be wanting to stay. but they get paid cash to do it, and
Mhm.
that's what I do. And then they love that. And they like
Yes.
him. Like the two
Hmm.
people that I have do it, they love him.
Yes.
Actually, there's really like, well, we're going to see if there's three. And it's a longtime friend of Terry's, and he's debating on doing it. Like I
Mhm.
have people that come at night too to get him ready for
Well, yes, of
bed.
course. Because
You
you
know,
cannot stay up 24 hours a day. That's something that a lot of people don't understand. I know, especially when it comes to loved ones. We want to be everything and all, but we can't be. Cannot stay up 24 hours a day, cannot constantly be on. You absolutely need help. And oftentimes, I know, especially as a therapist, there are many people they feel guilty that they cannot do the job. But you simply cannot do the job. There's nothing wrong with getting assistance. That's one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of people can't get over, right? I'm sure you found that
huge.
that's difficult. Yes.
That was huge for me because I felt like it was my responsibility.
Mhm.
And as time went on, and me getting my own help, it's like, oh, so did you plan on staying awake for 24 hours? I was like,
Right. How
no.
could you? Right. How could you do
And
that? It's impossible.
they're like, aren't you like tired? It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, I
Hmm.
am. Like,
Hmm.
I'm on the verge of burnout.
Yes.
Well, you got to stop.
Right.
You got to stop and like look at what you're doing. You have to like look at yourself, be willing to look
Hmm.
and not just keep pushing it away because you feel guilty. I mean, I
Right.
know about the guilt, but it's not going to help you or the loved one.
Right. And there's no shame. There's no shame in asking for help. There's no shame in getting help because
No,
you need it. Everyone needs it. You
everybody needs it.
you present better quality of care if we look at it that way, right? Because if we're in good health and mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, we can then provide better help. You have to get help yourself. You cannot be on 24 hours a day. I know that the guilt is very real for many people.
Yeah. Well, I let go of that. And he loves it. I can hear him down there talking and laughing.
Mhm.
The caregiver comes at night from 7 to 10. I make dinner or I order out and get something. And they're downstairs talking and I can hear them having good talks. And he
Yes.
gets him ready and, does whatever he needs to do.
Mhm.
And he comes upstairs and I'm just kind of chilling out with my candles on. He's like, okay, Connie, I'll see you tomorrow. And that's it. And he's in bed.
Right, right.
So I'm like, it's such a pleasure.
And he has company, right? Different people are coming in. He has
Yeah, it's
company.
not
There's
just me.
interaction for him, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
There's interaction for him. Yes.
Yeah. So
Now,
it's
do you
really
see
good.
yourself going back to clients? I mean, you're dealing with all this now. Do you see yourself one day going back to clients?
I Something else is stirring. It could be with
Mhm.
clients, but it's also could be with like horse therapy
Oh, lovely.
because I love horses
Hmm.
and I see how healing they are.
Yes.
So that's kind of stirring. There's not like this definite plan. I'm just kind of getting this feeling like, wow, I would probably just love
Hmm.
that. And people love animals
Hmm.
and being around
Yes.
them, it's very
Yes.
healing.
It is. It is indeed. It is. And I know that you still, as I said earlier, you're still doing speaking events. Those you do when you can. I know that
Right,
that you still do that, so people can hear you. Um,
right.
at different events that are out there.
Yeah,
Usually on social media.
right,
Currently, yes.
right. So that's really kind of what's going on for me. I'm just letting things are just kind of stirring
Hmm.
a little bit, but I don't know exactly what it is.
Hmm.
It's not formed yet, but
Hmm.
I'm getting ideas. It's like, oh, horses. I love horses. I always have.
Yeah.
Used to have a horse. I'd like more horses
Hmm.
and do something with that,
Well, they
where,
are very healing, right? They're beautiful creatures,
oh, they're
and
beautiful.
they're
Yeah.
yes.
Actually, I went to a retreat the beginning of October with horses.
Oh,
It was
lovely.
fabulous.
Yeah.
It was fabulous. And I connected with a bunch of people who do that,
Hmm.
so that was really cool. And, just staying in contact with them. And I'm actually going to be going to one of the girls, her home and her farm, because she does horse therapy.
Oh,
So,
lovely.
Yeah,
Now, where
social
can
media.
people hear from you? Are you on social media platforms? I know you speak at a lot of events that are on social media that are
Well, I
out
haven't
there to the
spoken in a
public,
while. I
right?
honestly, I haven't spoken in a while. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really been active on social media in a while,
Mm-hmm.
just because I just needed
Yes, the
nothing.
break.
I needed
Mhm.
nothing. And so I'm not really back on it. Every once in a while, I get on
Mhm.
there and I'll look at my friend's stuff, but I'm really haven't been on it actively for
Mhm.
my business.
Right.
It doesn't mean I won't be. It's
Right,
just
exactly.
right.
But that's why I wanted to have you on because I wanted people to hear that, we have very real people on. I always
Yes,
say ordinary people living extraordinary lives because we don't hear about that. Yes, you hear about celebrities, you hear about the wunderkinds that are out there, but ordinary people that have to live extraordinary lives because that's what's given to them. And so you're in the middle of it, right? As I said earlier, you're in the fires right
yeah,
now. And so even
yeah,
though you've helped others and you want to continue to help others, right now you had to take that break because it was needed
right.
and you needed to find the way that you move forward with all of this.
Yeah, I do. Now, speaking, I do like it. So you're kind of, by talking about it, is kind of stirring me a little bit because the story's even changed. It's even deeper. And I have to really like sit with that because, yeah, so many people are in it and don't know what to do with it and are like judging themselves for not doing
Right.
something or for doing something. And it's just like, oh gosh, you don't need to.
Right. And when they
You
hear
don't.
the story, right, when they hear someone else's story, they don't feel so isolated. That's why I love the events that are put on through social media platforms, through the internet, because you may reach someone in a corner of the planet that never heard of where we are and never heard that anyone else had the same issues that they had or what they're going through. And then they hear it through the internet and they feel less alone. They feel like, hey, it's
Right.
not just happening to me, or I haven't had that just going on with me. And I think that that's really the power of it all.
I agree. Yeah. And like where it's at now, I'm really going to sit with that, like because it's so different than it was 6 months ago,
Yes.
when I took the break. Well, it's almost 6 months.
Hmm.
And it's like August, I just kind of stopped and pulled the reins back and said, I
Hmm.
just can't keep going. I gotta stop and take a break. And yeah, you kind of stirred that up for me.
Well, that's why we keep in contact, right? Because that will happen, that can happen. And so just because we're therapists, we're coaches, we're guides, that doesn't mean that our lives don't have things going on where we do have to take a step back. But you always want to help others, so you want to make sure that the story's out there one way or another.
Right.
So, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time to even come on because I was thrilled that you said that you could give me some time to speak today because I thought it was so
Oh,
important for people to hear because I know that there's going to be somebody out on the planet that possibly has gone through this or starting to go through this and they really don't even know where to turn. And they've never even heard
right.
stories like that before. And I think sometimes they're
Right.
afraid, right? They're even afraid to speak to, what are you going to tell your neighbor? You don't even know what's happening yourself. And you're just not going to go out there and talk to the public on the street about it. So you don't even know where you're going to
Right.
find out information from.
Right. Right. I thank you so much for inviting me. And you like stirred up something in me today.
Well, I'm glad I did, and I'm thrilled that you came on and you gave us a glimpse of a little bit about what you're going through, even as a coach that has helped others,
Thank
and
you.
that wants to continue to help others. That you're still in the thick of things in your own life that are
Right.
very real, and I do
Yeah.
want to thank you. I so appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Marissa.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you. Take care, Connie.
I will. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're quite welcome.